presents a new upcoming class. Stay tuned. Sacred Bonds by Daryl Abdullah Kirk. Yes, Sacred Bonds, navigating the depths of Muslim matrimony and the family. You don't want to miss this one. Please stay tuned. Streaming on all major platforms right here on SunnahFollowers.net.
Is speaking about is blended families can be blended two different ways through cultural differences, or you marry a person who already has children from a previous marriage. We're going to talk about both of them in this chapter. First of all, again, when we speak about the second situation, a lot of different rules come with that one. But remember, as Muslims, that family is the cornerstone of society, and the family is what holds. And in Islam, the family is held in high esteem. And when we speak about a blended family, it can refer to a family unit that consists of a couple and their children from previous relationships or marriages. Or, like I said, it can also include different cultures, different races, different backgrounds. But the bottom line is it's all about blending, coming together as one unit, being able to set aside your cultural differences, as well as setting aside any previous relationship differences too. That baggage. A lot of people carry baggage into their relationships. And as Muslims, we don't want to carry unnecessary baggage into our marriages, okay? Because in Islam, marriage as a husband and as a wife, we're supposed to have patience and compassion with each other. Once we enter into one another, we become united as one. And I am an extension of you. You are an extension of me. And we have to begin to work together in our journey back towards Allah. Okay. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us the importance of family, the importance of trying to maintain a good family. And by the way, the pictures that show up today were generated. I didn't put the pictures here today because I was rushing to do the PowerPoint. So I used the auto gen. And that's exactly what it is, an auto gen. Because you see the type of pictures it gave me. I put Muslim family, and you see it gave me some gen family, but that's okay. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the best of you are those who are best to their families. And I am the best amongst you to my family. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a role model for us all. And he was especially a role model for men, because men are the protectors. Men are the maintainers of the family, as you all know. And before Islam, women were treated badly, not just by the Arabs, but by people in general. This is the Dark Ages. You can Google it, read books on it. You see movies about how women were viewed as nothing more than a piece of property. Women were bartered and traded against their will, married against their will, killed. They only allowed a certain amount of females to live anyway, okay, just to keep the creation going. And they treated women horribly. Well, in the advent of Islam, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam showed the men how to treat a woman. He lived with his wives, and he never beat them. He never abused them verbally. He never verbally accosted them or any of that. Okay. And he was letting the men know in this hadith, you can tell the goodness of a man by looking at the women in his family. If the women in his family are happy, then that's a good sign that this man has good character. This man is good. He said, some of you men like to beat your wives. Some of you men abuse your women. You should be more like me. He said, because the best of you are those who are good to their families, and I am better than all of you in that. Okay, so Islam teaches us to live together in harmony with patience and compassion. And when we go into a blended family, be it due to culture or be it due to coming into the marriage with children from previous relationships, it's going to take a lot of patience, a lot of patience. Listen to what Allah says in the Quran, in the interpretation of the meaning. He says, and among his signs is this, that he created for you mates from amongst yourselves, and that you may live in tranquility with them. And he has put love and mercy between your hearts. You know, it's all, a lot of people say, what's love got to do with it? Love has a lot to do with it. It's all about love and happiness. I'm sorry. Who wants to be in a relationship with a person that they hate, that they can't stand? Who wants to be in a relationship with someone, you know, who they dread coming around them? We're supposed to live, you know, in peace with each other. Allah put love and mercy in our hearts, you know, fall upon it, find it. So this verse it illuminates the divine wisdom in the creation of marriage. You know, in Islam, marriage is a legal contract that allows two people to be together lawfully. Okay. So that's why we have to follow the steps. You know, your guardian should be the one looking for a husband for you, sisters, and he wants to try to find someone that's compatible with you. And for you brothers, the same thing. The women in your family should try to seek out women for you who are compatible with you. Okay? And when it comes to the integration of children from previous relationships, that's a bit more of a struggle. Because even though those children are not yours, you're going to have to be just with them, just as you are with the ones that are yours. You have to be able to balance your love and justice with them. And that's kind of hard for some people to do. It's hard to treat someone else's child the way I treat my own. Okay? But you're going to have to be able to do that. Listen to what Allah says. In the interpretation of the meaning, verily, Allah commands you to render trust to whom they are due. And when you judge between people, to judge with justice, we have to be just. You can't go around buying clothing for your children, but the other kids that are living in the house with you, you bring them nothing back. How's that going to make them feel? The law tells us that he created us to live together and peace and love and mercy and kindness. And we have to keep our duties to each other, be good to each other, be kind to each other. And that's kind of hard to do in a blended family because, again, these children don't belong to you, but you're still in charge of them because they're living in your house with you. So applying this principle within the family means that each child, whether it's from yourself or your wife, they all have to be treated with fairness and love without bias or favoritism. And that's how we establish an environment of security and an environment of belonging. And remember, we talked about the mahrams. This is important. If you're marrying into a family, and remember, those children are mahrams to you. The children from your spouse, once you enter into your spouse and unite as one, her children, his children are yours. But the children are not brothers and sisters of each other. And that's where the problem begins. Because if you have a boy from your wife and your daughter, they're not mahrams. They can marry each other. So you're going to have to separate them. You're going to have to separate them. And for the new shahadas, I got one of the sisters, Desiree. Is that how you pronounce your name? Desiree asked me about this. She's one of the new shahadas in our group here from Reddit. Desiree said that a brother was interested in marrying her in her community. And he asked her, did she have any children? And she asked him why. He said, because I have two sons and they need a mother. He said, and so she said, yes, I have a daughter. And he told her, well, I cannot marry you. And she asked him why. He said, because our children will be lawful for each other and we can't have that. So she called me and asked me, well, she texted me and asked me, why come he couldn't marry me? What did he mean? And that's what he meant. I mean, the children would have to be separated. Even though your daughter would become a mahram to him, that means she doesn't have to wear a hijab around him. That means that he doesn't have to distance himself from her, but she's not a mahram for his two sons. She'd have to wear a hijab around his sons. He can never leave his sons at home alone with her. They can't be in the same room without somebody there to monitor them. And it's too much. So that's why a lot of brothers will refuse to marry a woman who has a child that's the opposite sex of the child that they may have. Okay. Now, if it were all girls, that's different. If it were all boys, that's even different. But different genders, it creates a problem. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Is that clear? So let's just say that you have a daughter and he has a daughter and you get married. Okay, this is fine. The children, you have to show equality between them. When you feed your child, you feed his. When you clothe your child, it's only right that you clothe his too. You don't sit there and take your child to the movies and leave his sitting there. You know, so, and look at the blessings we get too. In Islam, it's blessings in caring for a child that's not yours. So patience is needed in this. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. O you who believe, seek help through patience and prayer. Indeed, Allah is with those who are patient. And again, it takes patience to deal with your own children, even more to deal with someone else's. So patience and understanding the emotional and psychological needs of the child is something that we need. And also it's going to take patience to navigate the complexities of new relationships, new environments, new cultures, and all of that. Okay. Not only does it take patience to blend a family together, but also you have to have good communication skills as well. Communication is the lifeline of a healthy family structure. You have to be able to talk to the children. You have to be able to know how to read the kids, even if the kids that's not yours, to try to get them to open up with you, to be honest with you. Respect is something that is earned, not given. So you're going to have to work to, first of all, build up the respect so that child that's not yours will feel comfortable speaking to you, talking to you. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a great example because the Prophet Muhammad had stepchildren. Oh, yes. His wives he married women who had children from previous relationships, previous marriages. And he treated them all as if they were his own. We talked about how all the kids would gather together at Sauda's house. May Allah be pleased with her. Sauda, she was the foundation of the family. You know, all the kids would meet at Sauda's house. Sauda would cook for them, make things for them, make toys for them, you know, play with them and all of that. All the kids loved Sauda. Okay, her home was where all the kids met and also the other wives. If they all wanted to be together, they'd all meet at Sauda's home. You know, and our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved that about Sauda. You know, Sauda was the rock of the family. She helped keep the family together. Okay. And so a lot of people may ask the question, how can we work to develop a strong, supported, blended family? Well, there are certain strategies that we can use. Number one, we should establish family rituals and traditions that involve all family members that'll help to create a sense of unity and belonging. For example, every weekend, on the weekends, every Saturday, we'll go out to dinner as a family. Or every Saturday, we'll all go to the movies and watch a movie. Or every Saturday, we'll all go to the park, rituals within the house. Every morning after Fajr, we're going to all sit down after Fajr and we read a verse of the Quran together and give our take on the meaning of that verse and how we can implement that verse in our lives. We can do things like that, establish rituals that involve all the members that can help us all to come together as one. And also we should have regular family meetings. Every Friday at 6 o'clock, we'll have a family meeting where we can all sit down and discuss things and celebrate achievements. And we can make plans for the future. And again, everybody can participate. So that way the children all feel united as one. And also we can establish and encourage one-on-one time between step parents and step children to build individual relationships. Establish one-on-one time with your step kids. Establish one-on-one time with them. Make them feel special. Make them feel cared about. Remember, respect is earned, not easily given. And sit down together to learn the deen. That's one thing about this website. Sunnah followers, we are a family-oriented website. I'm always telling you guys, put me on the big screen TV. Let all the kids, everybody, your husband too, everybody should sit down as a family at 6:30 and watch the Sister Layla's class. Join Layla's class. Then at 9:30, before the kids go to sleep, we're gonna participate in Sister Layla's class and ask questions. So seeking knowledge together about the religion. Remember, a family that prays together is a family that stays together. So learning together. This will help build that trust, that unity, and that compassion with each other. And we can always seek professional counseling or community support if you're having a rough time. Most masjids today, most masajids, they have counseling available, family counseling, and all of that available to help you if you're going through a rough time transitioning. Okay? So, it's easy. It's not easy to do, but it can be done. Blending cultures, blending races, it can even be more challenging than blending children together because different cultures have different beliefs. They come from different traditions. So this is hard too. For example, you're from Africa. You marry a man who's a Caucasian from America. Okay? It's kind of hard, but it can be done. Just realize that what brings you together is Islam. The simple fact that you both believe La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, that's your culture. And that's something that we have to realize when we're coming from different walks of life. I'm African, he's Caucasian, or I'm Chinese and he's Mexican. It doesn't matter. What is uniting us is Islam. Islam is our culture. So we're going to have to put aside the traditions of society, traditions of race, and all of that, and realize that Islam is our culture. Islam is our tradition. And that's how you overcome the differences that way. Focus on building a strong foundation based on Tawheed. Remember, everything begins with and everything ends with Tawheed, belief in Allah. And embrace Islam as your cultural identity. And this is how we can live together in harmony if we come from different races.